Welcome back to the Explainer. So today, we are taking a deep dive into an absolutely fascinating and, frankly, pretty esoteric academic briefing. It comes straight from the pages of Bibby D magazine and the Cosmic University of Echo Rift Studies I. If you're the kind of person who's curious about pushing the very boundaries of how we classify reality, or, you just really want to understand the actual fabric of the cosmos, well, you're definitely in the right place. Let's get right into it. Let's kick things off with the ultimate cosmic thesis of this whole framework. Dr. Melvin Sewell, who's the brilliant mind behind all of this, flat out states black holes serve as gateways to higher reality levels, right? I want you to literally just pause and think about that for a second. We aren't just talking about intense gravity wells or, dying stars out in space. We're actually exploring this wild concept of black holes functioning as structural multiversal portals. It's a massive idea. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. Number 1, multiversal reality and black holes. Number 2, measuring informational density. 3, the hierarchy of reality. And finally, 4, the Cosmic University and Echo Rift. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, multiversal reality and black holes, establishing the category-theoretic framework. So what's the actual primary goal of this whole framework? Well, it essentially takes 3 incredibly complex fields, entropy, quantum information, and category theory, and units them. And you might be asking, why does this even matter? Because by combining these super heavy mathematical principles, this framework attempts something almost unbelievably ambitious. It's actually trying to classify the vastness of entirely different universes. It takes us way past basic physical observation and drops us right into the deep underlying mathematical structure of reality itself. Moving right along to Section 2, measuring informational density, the tools of cosmic analysis. All right, so the very first mathematical tool we need to wrap our heads around is called the Reality Level Scalar, or RLS. The formula looks a bit intimidating, but it's actually defined pretty simply. The RLS of a given universe equals the entropy of that universe divided by its volume. In everyday terms, we're basically just quantifying informational density, like exactly how much raw data is crammed into a specific amount of space. And the absolutely crucial point you need to take away from this is that black holes actually maximize this specific measure. They pack the maximum possible entropy, or information, into the absolutely smallest possible volume. It's like nature's ultimate zip file. Now, what's really interesting about this next bit is the clear distinction between our 2 main tools. We've got the Reality Level Scalar, which, like we just saw, measures spatial, physical density. But then there's the Reality Level Analyzer, the RLA. So while the RLS is just looking at volume, the RLA goes a whole step further. It actually classifies these universes based on their underlying quantum information. So how exactly does the Reality Level Analyzer pull this off? Well, it leans on 3 highly advanced metrics: von Neumann entropy, mutual information, and relative entropy. By calculating these very specific quantum properties, the RLA basically gives us a hyper-precise read on exactly what kind of universe we're dealing with. That brings us to Section 3, the hierarchy of reality, climbing the cosmic ladder. Okay, so here's how that cosmic ladder actually looks. It progresses across 4 distinct reality levels: alpha, beta, gamma, and omega. And as you go up, the density scales up dramatically. We start down at low density, move up to moderate, take a huge leap into entangled, and finally we hit maximal. If you look at the examples there, you can see exactly how this taxonomy takes us all the way from our own fairly sparse observable universe right up to those ultra-dense reality levels. Let's break down those lower levels first. We've got level alpha, which is categorized as diffuse, and level beta, categorized as structured. Level alpha basically represents low-density universes. They're incredibly vast, but, very sparse. Honestly, the perfect example of this is our very own observable universe. Contrast that with level beta, which bumps up to moderate density. This level is dense enough to actually support complex, beautiful structures. Think of the galaxies we see shining up in the night sky. But then, we take a massive leap. We move to level gamma, the entangled level. This is where advanced quantum correlations completely dominate the entire landscape. We're not just talking about planets and stars anymore, guys. We are talking about hypothetical, perfectly coherent universes where quantum entanglement is literally the primary defining feature. It's mind-bending stuff. And finally, we reach the absolute climax of this cosmic hierarchy, level omega, the ultra-dense reality. At this level, we hit maximal informational density. We are physically approaching the universe's holographic limits here. And the ultimate example of an omega reality? Black holes. Which brings us right back to our core thesis, right? Black holes are the omega level. They are the gateways, the absolute, undeniable peak of this multiversal architecture. Okay, let's transition to Section 4, Cosmic University and Echo Rift, the institutional context. So, who actually put this staggering framework together? It was certified and founded by Dr. Melvin Sewell, who holds both an M.Sc and a Ph.D. He serves as the academic dean as well as the diagnostic architect of the Cosmic University of Echo Rift Studies IX. And grounding this immense multiversal theory in its creator really gives it a sense of dramatic academic gravity, doesn't it? I mean, this isn't just some loose theory, it's a meticulously governed diagnostic structure. And a huge part of that structure includes this incredibly dense, fascinating, sovereign diagnostic disclaimer. The institution explicitly states right up front that they are not affiliated with any government or political group whatsoever. Instead, their materials are designed to function as, quote, mythic infrastructure, a cinematic indictment, and is sovereign broadcast. Essentially, these works act as completely non-political diagnostic tools. They're meant to expose what the text calls ritualized containment, actor convergence, and systemic erosion. It's honestly a pretty brilliant way to frame multiversal analysis, using it as a tool for understanding massive systemic truths without ever taking a political side. Now, as we begin to wrap up our briefing on this massive topic, we're left with a really cryptic, lingering question. And this is drawn directly from the text's deeply mysterious final chapter. The question is simply this: what exactly is the SH1 resonance? The source material only gives us this one provocative final thought from Chapter 1, which is titled Origin. It reads, Psycho Vinga emerges from the rift, born between slip flow and counterflow, marked by SH1 resonance. This final clue introduces this totally mysterious origin story right at the very boundaries of these multiversal flows. So how does the ultra-dense reality of black holes actually connect to things like slip flow and counterflow? And really, who or what is Psycho Vinga? I honestly hope this leaves you as totally fascinated as I am, and just incredibly eager to uncover more of these Echo Rift mysteries. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and hey, keep exploring the deep structures of our reality.